Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well let's learn English together. And welcome to the studio, people. How are you all doing today? Are you all well? I hope so. Did you all sleep well and have a good breakfast? Did your day start well and is it getting better? Again, I hope so. Well, I had a fantastic afternoon, a fantastic evening, and then this morning I went for a run, which was good, especially when it was over. After that, I had an excellent breakfast and now here I am, ready to start today's lesson. Great! So, I'm here and you're there. Now, all we have to do is... You know, don't you? Yes, it's that time again. The time when we call the animals and give them their orders. So, animals, assemble! Okay, let's give them their orders. Let's tell them what to do. Gusti, no dancing. Margot, don't block the TV screen. And Nigel, good old lovable hairy Nige. Nigel, no snorting, no grunting, no squeaking. All right, the animals have been given their orders. And do you all remember what form I used to give the animals their orders? Do you all remember the form we use in English when we tell someone what to do, when we give someone or something an order? Yes, that's right. We use the imperative, don't we? And did you notice anything else? Just before I gave the animals their orders, I also used the imperative, didn't I? In the sentence before I gave them their orders, I used the imperative. But this time, I used the imperative not to give orders, not to tell you what to do, but to make a suggestion. When we want to do this in English, we use the imperative with let's. Let's do something. We start with let's, which is the abbreviated HIT version of let us, and then we follow it with the imperative, with the infinitive without to. We use this form of the imperative when we're suggesting what to do to a group. If we're standing in the street and we're trying to think of something to do, then someone might say, let's go to the cinema, or let's go to the pub, or let's eat pizza tonight, or let's go home. All of these sentences are examples where we're using the imperative to make a suggestion to the rest of the group. We're suggesting what we should do. Okay, so now we know that we can use the imperative form to give orders, but we can also use the imperative form to make suggestions too. Good. Now, where were we? Yes. Yesterday we saw and heard a conversation between Lizzie and Tim Benchfield, didn't we? Alfredo sent Lizzie to fetch Tim from the car park. Alfredo told Lizzie to go from the supermarket to the car park and come back with Tim. He asked her to fetch Tim. Lizzie went into the car park, found Tim, and they both came back into the supermarket. There was some new language in their conversation, wasn't there? For a start, we heard Lizzie use the imperative, didn't we? She told Tim, hurry up, which is another way of telling someone to move faster. She also said, come on, which in this situation means the same thing as hurry up. And she also said, get a move on, which also means the same as hurry up. So now we know some new ways to tell people that we want them to move faster, that we'd like them to do what they're doing more quickly. We can tell them, hurry up, we can tell them, come on, and we can also tell them, get a move on. Now, one thing that we often see when we see an imperative command written down is that the imperative is often followed by an exclamation mark. Not always. If I'm suggesting that we do something, then perhaps it's not an exclamation. An exclamation is normally a comment, something we say, a remark, where there is surprise or a strong emotion, like anger, for example. Imagine a situation when you wake up in the morning, get out of bed half asleep, walk towards the bathroom, and then you walk into the bedroom door and stub your toe on the door. Now, think about what you say in this sort of situation. It's not a nice word, is it? No. And it's not the sort of thing that you say quietly and nicely, is it? No. It's something that you normally shout. And because it's a word which is full of pain and anger, then it's an exclamation. You exclaim, you cry out in surprise, pain, anger. Now, this means that if we see the word you say written down, we indicate the strong emotion connected to the word. We show that this was a word spoken in anger or pain or surprise by putting an exclamation mark after it. The exclamation mark shows us that this is an exclamation. The exclamation mark shows us that this word or phrase, whatever goes before the exclamation mark, was said in a dramatic, emotion-filled way. Maybe the person who said this shouted it. We don't know. But we do know that this word or phrase was said suddenly, perhaps in surprise, perhaps in anger, perhaps in pain. Just think about the word that you say or shout when you stub your toe on the bathroom door in the morning. You know that there's an exclamation mark, perhaps more than one, after it. And have a look at what happens to Eddie in this scene. Listen to the way that he cries, "Ah!" You can hear that this is a painful surprise for him. And so, when he cries out in pain and surprise. And you can guarantee that there's an exclamation mark, perhaps more than one, at the end of the word.
You're worse than your husband.
Ooh. You can hear the exclamation marks in that cry, can't you? Blimey. Ooh, nasty. Okay, so those are exclamation marks, and we often see them when we're giving people orders, using the imperative form to tell other people what to do. If someone is angry with you, they normally shout at you. And that means that they'll shout an order at you, like Richie in this scene, shouting at Eddie to come downstairs at once.
Right, that's it. Edward Hitler, come down here at once!
So, that's another example of an exclamation, here in the form of an order, using the imperative. Okay then, what were we talking about? Oh yes, I remember. We were talking about what Lizzie said to her brother Tim, weren't we? We were looking at the imperative, weren't we? Yes, we were having a look at what Lizzie said to her brother. The fact that she used a verb in the infinitive without to order him, to tell him what to do. Hurry up, come on, get a move on. All of these mean the same thing. She wants Tim to hurry up, to move faster. Alfredo told Lizzie to fetch Tim, and that's what she's doing. She went into the car park, found Tim, and now she's bringing him back into the supermarket with her. Okay, now I know that the imperative is very easy to use, but just to make sure, let's have a little bit of practice, shall we? Look at the following sentences and then change the sentence so that it uses an imperative. Okay. As usual, let's do the first one together as an example. That was a sentence using an imperative. Did you notice? I'd like you to sit down. Sit down. So, what did we do to change that sentence? Well, that was a very easy one, wasn't it? All we did was use the imperative form of the verb to sit down, which we make by removing the to from the front. And we made sure that the meaning is the same. In the first sentence, the person is being polite. But in the second sentence, the meaning is the same, but the style of the sentence is more aggressive. Okay, so have a look at these other sentences and change them so that the meaning is the same, but with an imperative. Can you open the door? Please move faster. I think we should go to the pub. I don't want you to eat my cake. It's not a good idea to touch that snake. It's poisonous. Someone asked you a question. You should answer the question. When I go on holiday, I want you to water my plants. I don't want the door closed. I want you to come here. Okay, so they were all pretty easy, weren't they? Well, how did you all get on? Let's find out. Hey! Another imperative. Okay, here we go. Can you open the door? Open the door. Please move faster. Hurry up. Come on. Get a move on. I think we should go to the pub. Let's go to the pub. I don't want you to eat my cake. Don't eat my cake. It's not a good idea to touch that snake. It's poisonous. Don't touch that snake. Someone asked you a question. You should answer the question. Answer the question. When I go on holiday, I want you to water my plants. Water my plants. I don't want the door closed. Don't close the door. I want you to come here. Come here. Okay, so how was that? Was that as easy as I think it was? Yes, it wasn't very hard, was it? Okay, let's have a look at what the answers are to make sure that we're all on the same page. All right then. Well, in number 2, we start with a polite request. I'm asking if you can open the door for me. When we communicate the same thing using the imperative form, then all we have to do is take the same verb from the original sentence, the verb to open, and use it as a command without to. Open the door. I'm telling you to open the door. I'm giving you an order. So verb without to, and then the object. Open. Open what? Open the door. Next. Okay, now this one is easy, isn't it? This is what we saw Lizzie say to her brother, isn't it? If I want to be nice and polite, then I say, please move faster. But if I'm giving a command, an order, if I'm telling you what to do, then I just say, hurry up. As an alternative, as we saw with Lizzie, I could also say, come on, or get a move on. They all mean the same thing. Okay, next. Aha. This one's a little bit different, isn't it? It's still the imperative, but it's not a command. It's not an order. I'm not telling people what to do. In this sentence, I'm using the imperative to make a suggestion to the group. So, in this case, I use let's, let us, and then follow it with a verb without to. This way, I can make a suggestion to the group, but it's not a command. It's not an order. I think we should go to the pub. Let's go to the pub. Oh, and on that note, I think we'll have to stop. We've come to the end of the lesson. Our 15 minutes is up and it's time for us to go. Oh well, never mind. Remember the French singer. No eyebrows, no problem. And no crying over spilt milk. Okay then, tomorrow we'll finish the rest of the exercise and catch up with the bench fields. Okay, you all know where to go if you need more English. www.m5tv.hu. That's the website to check out. Okay, have a great afternoon and a fantastic evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon. See you later. Bye.